I was no. I think I just had I always had the desire to go somewhere, to go to Jerusalem and see Israel, and I think maybe just because of all the media that we've been around and exposed to, I don't think that we have to believe everything we see and read. So I wanted to see it for myself, and knowing that the beginning of time sort of started there, I thought that it would be ideal to go and visit there with someone, especially someone that is very knowledgeable of the area and would see something other than just Jerusalem itself. So that's why I chose to go.
Jeff, thank you for being with us. I know you have been busy over the weekends. Thank you for joining us. Jeff, why did you go? And what was it like? Give us a little bit more stories.
It was some place I've always wanted to
Absolutely.
go. The birthplace of Christianity. As a deacon, you hear in church Bible readings, and you just can't put it into perspective until you are in the place where it all happened. And you know, it was a gift from my wife, which was amazing. And I had there aren't words really.
Jeff, you had a very unique experience. I've been with many other people, close to 100, who joined me to Jerusalem, but you were the only one who spent a very, very quality time in the Holy Sepulchre. Holy Sepulchre is the holiest of places for Christians. Why did you do it, and what was the experience like?
I heard that it was possible to do it, and I guess Der Dira, when we were in Haifa, I asked him about it, and he said, absolutely, it's your right. And I was a little nervous to ask. And Vartan and Hurant and Harry, we were at dinner with the patriarch, and Vartan said, look, you know, I want you to talk to him. So I went over, and I felt a little, funny asking, but he's a very sweet man, beautiful man. And right away he said, my son, he goes, it's our pleasure.
Jeff, many people do not know that the doors of the church, the Holy Sepulchre, closes at 10 p.m. and opens, you would be better known.
It was 6:30.
6:30. So did you know that, and what was it inside like?
Inside, we go there during the day, but, when you're there overnight, you really get, without thousands of people in there, you really get a chance to absorb, to reflect. Had Gomidas and Deacon Armin, they kind of prepared me in the beginning after the doors closed. The services started. It's a powerful place, and you're there alone. There's not a lot of lights. It's dark. You feel small. It's a humbling place.
Very interesting. Arthur, honestly, during this trip we went together, I had never discovered the spiritual side of Arthur Toufayan. Tell us, what does religion play in your life? Must be a very important question for you.
Yeah, I was exposed to quite a bit of, I guess, religion, being sort of escorted by mom to church every Sunday. Right, so that's pretty much how it was. And then as time went on, I faded out as a teenager and never really was interested. And then being in the Army and being in a very sensitive, sort of hazardous MOS, I found God again, because it was you either prayed or, you just wanted to get home safe and sound. So during the time that I was in the military, I found that just being spiritually conscious and aware made me more of a better person, and I was able to be more conscious and alert about being safe and being more just being happy of just being home and knowing the qualities of life is just home and love and all that. So then being exposed to something like Jerusalem just kind of really opened my eyes, because you see people that come there and are just so holy. That's all they have. Like, they use every penny that they have to come and see something that just moves your soul. And
Beautiful.
you can't describe it unless you go. You could tell somebody about it, but to actually witness it, and then you see somebody go there and just pretty much open up their whole, their their soul and their being, and then just start like losing it in front of you, you're just like, all right, now I get it. Now I get it.
You know, Jeff, when we were in the River Jordan and we saw all these people getting baptized, you said, incredible, something like that. What was it like there? What did you see and how did you feel?
You know, again, we had left Jerusalem, and it's kind of like that part of it is the desert, which that was another, just not to get off track, but I was expecting going there and seeing like desert, and it was more like Southern California. But where we went, the Jordan River, that was the desert, and you saw the churches in the background, and again, hundreds of people, and it was quite a cool day. They would change kind of in a shabik, and they would go in the water.
That was something
amazing.
Yeah. Arthur, I remember you especially from the rooftop of the Armenian Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem.
Oh, yeah.
That was a moving experience. Tell us about
Yes.
Jerusalem, Christmas in Bethlehem, Armenian.
Amazing experience to just be present in such a. You read about it, you see it, and then just to see that whole thing, just to see the whole thing happen in front of you, was unbelievable. That brings it all into perspective to see that it actually is happening in other parts of the world where you think maybe it's so forbidden or that it's so dangerous to go to, but you know what? You got to be careful, yes, but you got to be careful walking in the streets of New York City. You got to be careful crossing the street. But if you're there and you're conscious and you're alert and you're respectful, and you go for the right reasons, then everybody leaves you alone, and they're actually very helpful. And being there in Bethlehem and seeing an actual Armenian Christmas transpire in front of us was unbelievable.
Jeff, when we speak about Jerusalem, we're so proud of the Armenian Quarter. Armenians have a big real estate in the area. What did you feel like? What did you think you were going to see, and what did you see? What details can you give us?
Just from the first day we got off the plane, when we went to Jaffa, I mean, what a absolutely breathtaking, beautiful, it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And then Haifa and Jerusalem, and for a small group of people, I get choked up that we are, how much we control, and over the years, the Armenians have a quarter of the old city. It's mind-boggling and humbling. Like, until you go there, and you think of an old place. Usually, you go old places. They're kind of small. They're not expansive. This is an expansive area, and to again, for the Armenian Church to have what we have, it's humbling. It's unbelievable.
Arthur?
You walk in that and you see four quarters of pretty much like the center of the world, right, where it all began. But then I love tourists that I ran into, because I kind of went off, I'm more of a rebel in a way, which kind of got me in trouble a little bit. But I went off a little bit on my own way when I had some free time, and I went down some streets and listened to tourists and kind of delved into just being part of the whole scene. And I heard tourists say, Armenian, what's Armenian? They just didn't get it. Like, so they'd walk over, but it was, I kept quiet, but I just wanted to see the reactions. Some people just don't understand, but when you're there and you're an Armenian and you're like, wait a minute, look at what we have here. And you're like, whoa. But it's the epicenter, it's the center of the world for us. Like, we have all the religions are based in this one area, and you walk in and you say, all right, well, we are such a small population in this world, right? And we look at these, like I look at my family and what they've become and what they've achieved, and then all the things that we've gone through. So to have that and to hold it for as long as we have is unbelievable.
You're both breaking down. You're really emotional, and it really, when you speak about your families, I mean, Arthur, I know you're related to Harry Toufayan. Your grandpa is Harutun Toufayan, a big family that has done its share in the area. Jeff, you've been so close to the church. I know you are close to the church in Fairlawn. I drive with you in the highways of New Jersey All I hear in your car are church services. You talk about the YouTube that St. Leon records the Badarak on, and you go after Yegmalian and Gomidas and Chorenian and Chilingirian, and you're so passionate about this thing. It's just mind-boggling that there is this Armenian spirit that is so alive in both of you, really. And let me just go back to Arthur. Arthur brought some food here. Arthur, you are a very successful businessman. You have a restaurant. Tell us the name, location.
Yes, we have two. We have two restaurants. We have one that's in Wyckoff, New Jersey. It's called Cafe Amici. It's 315 Franklin Avenue. That's more of a sit-down restaurant. And then we own another one that's a gourmet market in Hohokus, New Jersey, and that's free-range, organic. That's also a sit-down, but it's more takeout. So, but all that hard drive and work, which pretty much is a 24-hour-a-day operation, all comes from who we are and how we came here with nothing and built it up from. And I'm sure that Jeff can attest to being, as successful as he is, same kind of story. We don't, I don't think Armenians in a whole take a lot of things for granted. So when you see something that is, that's sort of on display, I guess you want to call it, in Jerusalem as being so relevant and so important, and people visit it, thousands and thousands of people visit it at a time, you're taken back by it. And when you say, we're getting emotional, I'll tell you right now, since the trip, there are times when I wake up in the middle of the night and I'll just be, I'll be sobbing because I'll remember a lot of these experiences that probably a lot of people won't see, but should. And what Vartan's doing, I commend, which I think we should take a second out to say, that's not an easy thing to take 20 degenerates like us to a place where everybody's got, their own sort of maybe agenda, or they want to do this, or they want to go there, or spend a little more time here. So keeping everybody in a group and keeping everybody in awe was a feat in itself, and you did it seamlessly. You and your wife were unbelievable, and you made the trip extremely one worth remembering.
Jeff, let's talk about food. I know you enjoy eating, you enjoy food, Middle Eastern food, and I know also Arthur enjoys food. What can you tell us about the food in the Middle East you got exposed to? What was it like?
It was very, I don't want to say different, but a different spin on kind of like, a little bit Lebanese, a little bit Armenian, I think what they ate and when, that was the biggest surprise. Like, you have hummus and choban salad for breakfast every morning, which was, as an American,
24/7, right?
is a little different. A plate of tahine practically with every meal, which I didn't really consider a food group, but it was really delicious. The lamb was off the hook. I mean, it was not like lamb here at all. Like that machlube we ate in Jericho. There was some very delicious stuff.
I'm really amazed how you remember all these names and places. Arthur, you had a video clip at one of the Ful and
Hummus Lima.
Say it again.
Hummus Lima. I'm telling you, you put me anywhere in the old city of Jerusalem, and the video is credible. I will close my eyes and I could find that place now. I got lost for hours. I got in big trouble by the group leader, but I found it, and I found it on my own, because another thing, just so you know, when you go into the old city, I guess it's built sort of like with, there's cement and there's lead but your GPS does not work. So if you try to plug in an address or a location, or somebody pins you somewhere, forget it. You're going to be on your own. But I found this place, I went in, and ironically enough, the owner also owns a falafel stand across the street. So this was after lunch. Now I'm going in, I'm stuffed, but I sat down, I had a bowl of hummus, a bowl of food, and then 10 falafel with all the fixings. And it's the most memorable experience because, first of all, I felt victorious because I found it and I wasn't dead. And secondly, it was the most incredible meal because it was just so simple and there was no one around, and it was amazing. It was great. The flavoring was sensational. And like Jeff said, there were so many other places, but Hummus Lima sticks out. I can't wait to go back there.
You know, I think I told both of you that we have another group in place. They have all bought their tickets. They have all bought their insurances. Everything is ready to go. We are packed. We are sold out. And we'll be leaving January 9th to the 19th. And very interestingly enough, it's a very large group from Fairlawn St. Leon Armenian Church.
That's great.
And somebody yesterday at the St. Mary's Armenian Church picnic, so, you know, we start talking about that. He says, Vartan, it's incredible what you are doing. I said, why is it incredible? She says, because you are able to take American-born Armenians to these parts of the world which they would never
Yeah.
otherwise
No, it's
go.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That really struck.
I commend you absolutely.
Yeah.
This isn't like I mean, you could vouch for this also. I think, Jeff. I mean, this is like one of these. It's a destination, and for sure, but it's not one that I think a lot of American Armenians or Americans, for that matter, have on their list. And I think again, it all stems because of the media putting such a red flag up and saying, you know, beware and yes, you have to be careful. I mean, I'm leaving for Italy on Wednesday. You know, I'm taking my wife. I'm going with my uncle and my aunt. Yes, we're going to Armenia in October. You know, it's time to travel. It's time to get out, see the world. Don't be afraid. Be cautious. You know, be alert, but don't be afraid.
Any other words of wisdom, Jeff, as we wrapping up comments?
Listen, the surge and the kunefe were the best I've ever had.
The cardamom in the soup.
And this was pretty much a daily search, no matter where we
Yes, yes. Fantastic coffee. All around, great experience. Whoever's going, whoever's listening, whoever is on the fence about going, it's highly, highly recommended. God willing, if I have strength and I have money and things are okay, I want to take the family back.
went. Me too.
Beautiful. I really, really thank you. If there's anything else, Arthur or Jeff, you would like to add, we'd like to thank you very much.
Jeff?
I just wanted to thank you for having us and for the trip and the wonderful experience. I love you, buddy.
Yeah, same, Vartan. Just keep health and happiness going and keep bringing the people back to the Holy Land. It's
Yeah.
very important.
You know, we have Armenians in America, in Jerusalem, in Armenia, and really, really we should be proud of each and every one of Armenian member of the community. And there's so much fire in each and every one of us, and we do remember the past. We do know where we have come from, and we also have a lot of energy to move forward, and both of you have the energy. I'd like to wish you, I know there are many, many projects you have. I'd like to wish you all the best, good health to you, your families, and loved ones. And please come again and visit us at the radio. Thank you.